Hey, hey, and welcome to another episode of WKT's Backstage with Sissy Thompson. On today's show, we've got some more Eliminator Tournament news for you, and we are featuring a brand new segment, WKT's Vocal Academy. We're going to be featuring some amazing vocal coaches when we have this segment, and starting out today, a great vocal coach himself, Mr. Michael Cagle, is joining us. We've also got tea time with some of Talent Quest's finest entertainers, Mrs. Margo Smith and Sherry West. And you don't want to miss the big interview today with our own Anthony Magee. So grab a chair, slip on something a little comfortable, and join me backstage. Hey, y'all. Well, here we are, another week of Backstage. And I'm going to tell you what, this is hard work. It's Mother's Day. And here I am with all of you. That's right. I'm not at some fancy steakhouse. I'm not out there sipping a beautiful summer spritzer. I'm right here taping for you guys. So you better be watching me, right? Let's see. You know what I want to talk about? Now, I'm just going to put the nail right on the head. And I know that you guys have experienced this in your own little town. This week, we had a little bit of karaoke drama in the 614 here in Columbus. You know what I mean. Somebody getting upset at another singer for whatever reason. Did we ever really know the reason? But it just kind of aggravated me because I'm the type of person, if somebody takes the stage and they're a great singer, man, I love that. It's just like adding another person to the party. There's no room for jealousy or gossiping behind someone's back and all of that mess. Listen, there's enough songs and enough karaoke stages out there for all of us to have a good time. I ain't got time for all of this drama. Let's all just get along and sing and have a good time for Pete's sake. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, it's like some reality show or something. Did I say reality show? I've already said too much. Let's go backstage. All righty, here we are with the news. And have I got some amazing Eliminator Tournament information to remind you of? Listen, coming up this next weekend, Saturday, Sunday, May 15th and 16th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. Make sure you tune in because the Eliminator Tournament is on its way. And when I tell you, we have some amazing singers from around the globe that are chasing after our own WKT World Champ, Miriam Kim's title belt. 16 singers, and every single one of them are going to bring it. You do not want to miss it. Make sure you join us, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and watch. It is going to be an epic battle. Again, this Saturday, this Sunday, May 15th and the 16th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure we see you there. We are so excited to bring you guys a new segment to WKT Backstage. Welcome to WKT's Vocal Academy. I'm really excited to start this segment. And what we're going to do here is every once in a while, we're going to bring on a few of my fellow vocal coaches to bring you some amazing tips, some ideas to try with your voice, just all sorts of things that will make you a better competitor. And who else could I think of to bring on to start out this journey with the Vocal Academy than none other than Michael Cagle himself. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you so much. I wore a little sparkly just for you today.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've seen you sparkle every day.
Oh, well, Michael, you know, I love you to death. We had the honor of coaching alongside of you during WKT's Keep On Singing.
You did an amazing job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. As did you. We had some rocky roads, but that's what happens when family gets together. Sometimes we agree to disagree, and then we kiss and make up, and we moved on.
And then you just move forward. Keep moving forward. That's what you got to do. Gotta keep
I
it
want to
going.
tell everybody a little bit, and Michael knows this story. When I first met Michael a few years ago in Vegas, I did not particularly care for him. He slung a shoe on stage, and I was just like, what the heck? And then the next year in Vegas, we met again. And you know what? Ever since that moment, we just connected and we just became great friends. And two different people that just found a common ground, a love for music. And now we just have a blast every time we're together.
I
So,
adore you. So I mean,
oh, me
this
too.
could be a love fest discussion, I guess, because I just thought the world of you when I first met you, and I'm like, this is a personality. Some people are flamboyant, but they can't back it up. And you walk in a room and all eyes are on you, but you have the goods to back it up. And I'm like, there's
Well, they're
somebody
probably
that's
wondering if it's going to bust out or if my Spanx are going to pop again like they did in Little Rock, but who knows? But, as do you, and creative people, usually are those out of the box type of thinkers, which is why I brought you on today. I want to drop a little tip today about coaching. And you
okay.
and I spoke about it. And I think what you had to say was pretty important. So let's go ahead and dive into that.
Okay.
We were talking about different styles of vocal coaching.
Yes.
And of course, if a singer can afford the time and financially afford it, I definitely think a vocal coach is something that will extremely improve their singing. Don't you agree?
Oh, I do. For many reasons, both uh, from a performance base. What do I do on stage? How do I act? How do I interpret the song? How do I bring the lyrics to life? What do I do? As well as the technical aspect. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing that's damaging? How can I prevent that? How do I understand my instrument? How do I know what kind of singer I am? These are kind of the elements that I bring when I coach, because I coach from two standpoints. I coach from a very, very technical standpoint because my teachers were technical, and I wanted to know why I had to do this. Why do I have to breathe this way? Why do I have to approach a note this way? Why do I need to go to a blend here instead of just belt? All this kind of stuff. And I was like, I want to know, no. And so my teachers were teachers. So they took the time to actually tell me why I was doing the method that I was doing, and why I was doing the kind of placement that I was doing. That, on top of the fact that I've been a theater geek my entire life, and performing songs and bringing them to life is paramount. You're not going to not only are you not going to win karaoke contests, but you're going to be boring at karaoke if you don't have some kind of desire to bring the song to life. I mean, why are you going up there? So I
Absolutely.
bring both of those elements together to create the method that I use when I coach. And I think that's really, really important, because right now there is a glut of people that are vocal coaching or calling themselves vocal coaches. And I know that people are gonna, but it's important when a student comes to you and they don't know anything. That means that you're working with muscles and breathing that may or may not exist, and which means you have to give them the fundamentals to strengthen that.
Right.
And it's not just a matter of, oh, you're going to sing this good, or drop your jaw. Well, okay, what do I always want to say, okay, so why are they dropping their jaw? And what happens when they drop their jaw? What kind of tension are you going to use? What's happening inside the roof of their mouth? What chambers are opening up? Where do you want them to go? Drop your jaw, sing from your diaphragm. Everybody knows that. What does that mean? You don't actually sing from your diaphragm, you sing through your diaphragm. So it's
Absolutely.
like, it's hard for me because coaching is very personal to me. I've had a lot of success with I've had people that I've coached that won Tony Awards. So it's important to me. I take it as something that's very valuable. So I encourage anybody that wants to take lessons, work with someone who has the education like you. We've talked music before. We've talked breathing. We've talked about this. And I'm like, she knows her stuff. And that's the kind of person you want. I mean, it's good to have a cheerleader,
Right.
but a cheerleader can't help you with technique. And
Right.
you can't just go to someone who promises you everything. Like, if you work with me, I promise you're going to hit every note that you've ever wanted to hit for as long as you want, and come on in. And that's bull, you know what? And it
Well,
actually
and we hope that they will. We hope that they will stretch their limits, obviously, but like you and I've talked about, the body is made of flesh, blood, and bone, and muscles.
it is, and it's you are limited by the laws of physics. If you go to a
Right.
gym, like me, I'm drastically out of shape. And if I went to a coach that said, "Oh, if you work with me in a if you work with me in a month, you're going to be able to run to LA without stopping," that's
Right.
just ridiculous. It's not. That's as good as techniques are, and you can stretch a range, you can modify things, you can help endurance, but don't promise magic beans. That's
Right.
not fair.
Well, what I want to do here on the Vocal Academy, give amazing tips, give the competitors some insight into what they can do to improve their voice. I want to bring on different vocal coaches
Right.
as well, because like you just said, everybody's different, and there's a lot of information flying out there that just isn't going to help a lot of the competitors. So guys, we encourage you, interview these coaches, go to different coaches, get estimates, get history, get background, and choose who is going to be the best fit for you. And I'm sure that for many of you guys out there, Michael Cagle is going to be a great fit for you. We're going to put his information up here on the screen. Please get in touch with him if you're interested. If you want to know some more information about him, get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch as well. But make sure that you make the investment of not only just a financial thing, but most importantly, the time into your voice.
Right, because the biggest key is, at the end of the day, it's your voice and
Right.
it's your instrument, and you need to be utilizing that the most healthy way and the most positive way you possibly can, because I'm not going to go on stage and sing for you or perform for you. Sissy's not. You're going to go up there and do your thing. So make sure you're getting the very best out of it by knowing who you are and what your instrument can do and where you want to go with it.
100%. Cagle, thanks so much for joining me. I'm sure you'll be back on the Vocal Academy many more times in the future.
I love you so much. And thank you so much for everything that you're doing. And this was a blast. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye, sweetie.
Nikki Siyama, your reigning, defending WKT North American champion. And you are watching Backstage with the fabulous Sissy Thompson.
Hey, and welcome to my favorite section of the show, Tea Time. When thinking about this week's Tea Time, I was dealing with a lot of questions this week. Some of you may know that Michael and I are the Ohio State directors for Talent Quest International. And a lot of our competitors have had a lot of questions about, okay, what happens once we get to Nevada? And some people think that I've actually been to Nevada with Talent Quest. I have not. Made Team Florida in 2015, but was unable to go to nationals. So I thought, who can I bring on to answer some of these questions? And I decided to bring two ladies that I know that have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to being on the ground in Laughlin, Nevada with Talent Quest. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Miss Margo Smith and Sherry West. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Margo. How about you, Sherry?
I'm fine. Nice to see you, Sissy.
Nice
you,
to
Margo.
see you.
Nice to see you.
I'm so glad you guys could join me. Well, you heard how I led in. I've had a lot of questions about what to expect once a competitor gets to Nevada to compete at Talent Quest International. Sherry, how long have you been affiliated with the Talent Quest organization?
Well, except for 2020, I've been every year since 2009. So I think 12 altogether.
Well, that's definitely a veteran for sure. Let me ask you this. As a competitor, what would you say is the most unexpected thing that you have to deal with once you are there at the international level completing that some people might not really understand?
Oh, well, especially coming from, you're in Ohio, right? The total lack of humidity. It is so dry there. I mean, and I'm from Alberta in Canada, and it's dry here, but it is nothing compared to the dryness in Nevada. So they have to be prepared with, I take a little portable humidifier that I can leave in my hotel room, and it is gallons of water to be drinking.
Absolutely.
So that was, that first year, that was a bit of a shock. Because even for me, coming from Alberta, where it's very dry as well.
I remember our first year with KWC, we were in Vegas, and it was my first time ever in Vegas. And I was shocked just how dry my throat was. Margo, did you experience any of that?
I just have to add, it's also allergies. So if you have a dry environment, number one, is going to be much colder in the hotel room. Number two, you get very hot on stage because of the lights. Number three, you come outside, it's a bunch of wind and sand, so it means your allergy kicks in too. So yeah, you make sure all your medication are with you at that day.
Absolutely. Margo, tell a little bit to everyone watching about your experience with Talent Quest. You had a banner year not too long ago. Tell us about that.
Oh, I started a way long time ago. I started in 2007, and I was representing South Carolina, not North Carolina. And was on and off. I didn't go every single year, but it was kind of like in a random pattern. And in 2017, it was my 10-year anniversary with Talent Quest. And that's the year before I miserably failed to get in the top 5. And after that, I decided to get a plan. It was a very productive year of doing what I want to do. And I was just praying that year it's not going to go in vain. And 2017, after all the work I put in, it was a shock. I was not expecting to be what I achieved. And every single picture they took me at the finals, my face was, "Are you sure?" I was not expecting it. I just was having fun too much. Yeah.
Oh, well, you did amazing. And I was going to say, if you will never hear advice from Margo to future competitors to keep it simple, because if you've ever watched her perform, it is costume changes on stage. It's crazy. I don't know how you do it, but you always never fail to entertain and surprise. Margo, what about you? What's a day in the life once you get to Laughlin? What would you say the first day of competition is going to look like for these new people that are coming on board?
It is very difficult to start at the top of your game, because if you know the judges, they're going to sit there and you have to impress them every single time. And they literally sit there from morning to very late night. So if they don't remember you, and that's where the costumes come and play. If you did something extravagant, so they can kind of, oh yeah, I remember that. They're not necessarily going to remember how you sang, but they really remember how you perform.
Absolutely. Sherry, what about you? Tell us a little bit about your experience with Talent Quest on the stage. And then secondly, give these competitors some advice about what to expect in the first few days once they're on the ground in Laughlin and getting ready to compete.
Okay, well, yeah, be prepared. I think that's the biggest thing. Margo's right. You have to have a game plan. And I've never gone without one really. But I have to say, but it did take me a few years when I first started going to really nail down, and in particular song choices for me, what is my forte, what works best for me and whatnot. And then never leaving points on the table in terms of your costume and your stage presence. Those are easy points to get. Make sure you look at, and it doesn't have to be super expensive. I get a lot of my clothing and whatnot from Value Village and other thrift stores and junk jewelry and all of that. And nowadays I do spreadsheets. So I have a spreadsheet. I have the song, I have what version I want of it. I have what dress I'm going to wear, how I'm going to wear my hair, my makeup, my shoes, my jewelry. And that's what I go with. It's that kind of preparedness. And I think you just have to really do that. And I do think an awful lot of people go for the first time unprepared altogether. So yes, absolutely. I have to say it, bling is important. That's all there is to it. You want to look your best. You want to sound your best. So pick the songs that suit you the best, and use the stage. Now that doesn't mean you have to be dancing all over the place, because I do a fair number of park and bark songs where I stand in front of a microphone. But you have to exude the emotion of the song. Right. Margo's right. Chances are the first time through, you're probably not going to make the finals. In 12 years, I've seen it happen 3 times where somebody comes for the very first time and they end up winning their category. Highly unusual. So go the first year and learn everything you can. Watch everybody, especially the finals concert, and learn.
Absolutely. That's great advice. Both of you, I knew you would not fail me here. You both are definitely seasoned pros when it comes to the TQ arena. And I'm just so thrilled that you can join us. Guys, if you have any other questions as you're getting prepared for Talent Quest, certainly reach out to us here at Backstage. But I'm sure these 2 ladies, you could find them on Facebook. And if you had any questions, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to answer them for you. Margo, Sherry, thanks so much. Love you guys to death. Respect you both tremendously. And I might be calling you as well with a few questions myself, because my first time in Laughlin. So be ready. I got a lot of questions. Love you guys so much. Thanks for joining me on Backstage.
Bye.
Hey, and welcome to the big interview. I am so excited to introduce you guys to the special guest that I brought in for you today. When I met this fella in 2015, he came down, he was a part of our KWC state finals. And for me to say that he dramatically went on to impact my life would be a tremendous understatement. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome none other than Anthony, the experience, and what an experience he is, Magee. Anthony, how you doing, baby?
I'm good. And happy Mother's Day. So.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. This is a tough one. This is the first one without Mama. And so a little tough, but the best way to honor your family that's gone on is just to live and live well. And so that's what I'm trying to do today. And she would want me to just keep on working. So that's what we're going to do today. How you doing? You look good.
Thank you. I'm trying.
You're looking good. 2015, man, it seems like just yesterday, but it's been several years since we met. I remember when I was nervous. It was my second competition. Jeffrey and I had competed in Talent Quest that summer, and then we went on to compete in KWC, and you rolled into town and you were loud, crazy, and just loads of fun, but boy, you could sing. And I remember when you took the stage and you sang Lady, like I had never heard Lady sung before. And that was when you and I connected, that moment in that song. My marriage was ending and was going through some tough times, and you pulled me aside and kind of coached me through that competition. And you done good. You done good. I ended up winning for the state of Florida. And then you brought me to your hometown of Little Rock. And so I have to say, if there was not an Anthony and a Whitney, we have to include Whitney in the ride, but if there was not an Anthony, there would not be a Michael and Sissy. And so I have to say thank you for that. You led me to the love of my life. And I appreciate that. How are you doing? You've been getting into a little bit of the virtual world here, doing some singing over the last year. How has that been for you? Have you enjoyed it or has it been tough?
I love Whitney to death, but I am so over this. I'm so ready to be back on stage. I'm sorry, I can't take it. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I'm one of those people that gets on that stage, I get it done, and that's it. I can't do take after take after take after take because I start losing momentum. I'd rather just get in, man. No.
Right. Well, and you're the type of person like me, and you and I've talked about this actually when we've been taping behind the scenes and getting aggravated with stuff. We feed off of the audience. It's very difficult to create that same kind of energy and connection when your eyes are staring into a cell phone or a computer. So I totally get that. But I've watched a lot of your videos and you're competing on the virtual stage and you do not seem to have lost that edge. I mean, so what do you do to prep for all this?
I really don't. Whitney will tell you, I wait till the last minute. I always have. And it's not because I think I'm the bomb. It's because I'm always making sure that everybody else has their stuff done.
Yeah. And do you think that just doing it and keeping it organic and keeping it simple also keeps your anxiety and your nerves at bay a little bit instead of planning?
Well, yeah, I kind of just go into it. I'd rather sit down and record, a lot more songs than needed and then pick, you know what I'm saying? But when I step in front of that camera and I say, oh, this is for competition, everything just changes. Because I can sing in front of a camera all day. And we know that.
Right.
And
have you fallen into the trap of, I think I told you when I was competing in the Masters last year for WKT, there was one song I did so many takes. What is the most takes you've done on one song?
I don't know if I have a number. Just know that for Worlds, I started recording at 8 o'clock in the morning and didn't get done till midnight. That was all day.
Till midnight.
And that was
oh my Lord.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
It's crazy. I'm like you. I'm glad that we had this virtual stage, this medium as like an outlet to kind of get us through this crazy time. But I'm ready to get back in front of an audience. Obviously I know you. I mean, you're like family to me through the good and bad. We've stuck together but a lot of people, there's a lot of new people because of the virtual stage that have never really been a part of the competition circuit. And as we're slowly starting to make our way back to the live stage, I'd like to kind of reintroduce you to some of these new people and then remind some of the old people some of the stuff that you've done. Anthony, when did you start competing?
2012. Yeah, 2012 was the first year I competed in KWC. Went to Cincinnati. Me, Scott, and Selena. Second place. 2013, we were in California. I got third. We then got bumped to second because second place got disqualified. 2014 was Dallas, and I won by 1 point. And then that November, went to Sweden and won the world. First male from the United States to win the world. First Black male to win the championship. First openly gay male to win the championship. From there, I just traveled and judged, sang, went to Tokyo, to be on a TV show. I was first Western-born male that they had flown to be on the show. first Black that had been on the show. Probably the loudest person they've had on the show.
I believe that.
Then in 2016, I competed in the World Series of Karaoke and won that.
Right.
2019, I became the first North American opening champion for WKT. So,
long
yeah.
list.
When we get back on stage, I'm not going to play with anybody.
Well, and you've done stuff behind the scenes. I mean, you've helped with planning and productions, getting venues, helping out other singers, coaching. I mean, you've got a long list of things that you've assisted with and had a tremendous amount of experience, definitely helping put Little Rock on the map when it comes to karaoke. Everybody that I know that travels through Little Rock, I mean, you know, Bob, it was in Little Rock not too long ago. And I mean, he had a lot of amazing things to say about the karaoke experience there. What do you think it is about Little Rock that separates you guys from so many other smaller metropolises across the nation? I mean, definitely Little Rock has definitely got its finger on the pulse of karaoke. Why do you think that is?
We were a family. We sang together, most of us sang together 7 nights a week. Kim and Scott had a show each night of the week. And we sang together every night of the week.
I believe that.
And we pushed each other and we competed against each other and we fought and we loved and we cried and we laughed and we danced. We were a cohesive unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that, because those of us that came to Little Rock to compete that year in 2015, win or lose, I mean, I only placed 7th that year in the nation. I didn't win, but ever since that moment in Little Rock, I mean, you guys are family. You know how special you guys are to me and Michael. Little Rock is like a home away from home for us. And there is something special once you get on the ground and get surrounded by all of the karaoke community there. It's something that I've never experienced anywhere, not in Tampa, not in Columbus. There definitely is a camaraderie there. And you said something that that really kind of touched me when you said, you know, your family, you've laughed together, you've cried together, you've argued together, you've made up together. And that's one thing that I certainly appreciate. You know, we are truly a family, regardless of where you live. You know, in Europe, we have family. In Australia, we have family. It's almost like a little cult, if you will, all of us. What would you say, you know, I mean, there's a lot of answers that you could give to this next question, but what would you say, honestly, is the one thing that karaoke has done for your life that's changed it?
Oh God, it's not a lot.
It could be a lot of answers, like I said.
It's done so much. I mean, it took me around the world to see places that I never thought I would see, that I always wanted to. To get to see and meet people from other countries, spoke different languages, and have them all at the same place at the same time, with the same love for the same thing. There's so much magic. There was always so much magic.
Yeah.
To have the person come from the back of the room and say, that touched me. Thank you. I need to take it.
It's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. You shared with me when we were talking over the past few days about an experience that you had. And I was telling Michael about this, and I said, you know, that right there, that is better than any trophy, any prize, any airline ticket, anywhere. If you don't mind, would you share that experience?
Not at all. Okay, so Thursday night, I go to Brewski's with a friend. And I hadn't been there in quite some time. So my first song I'm singing is Gravity by Sarah Bareilles. And for the bridge and everything, I walked into the crowd. Big note, yeah. There's this beautiful Black girl sitting on my left. Big, beautiful eyes, long legs. With the mic up, she says, "You have a really wonderful voice." Well, thank you. The second song is A Song for You by Donny Hathaway. She's on my right now, but she's having a conversation with like 5 or 6 people. And I start singing, and they all stop. She turns completely around, and we lock eyes. I'm singing, she's like, wow. And everybody else at the table is like, oh my God, it's good, and they're recording. And so I decided to walk over to her for the second half of the song. It was I love you in a place and there's no space of time. The very first one. And we was boom here. She was just getting more into it and more into it. And then she stood up. And her first little extension, I was like, and I dropped that mic and I hollered. I sang the mess out of this song. And she sat there and she danced right there. And I've never moved somebody to dance. I've moved some people to get out of the room, some people to get on stage, never to dance. Ever.
And you said that, I mean, and we're talking about, I mean, this lady is obviously professionally trained ballet dancer, and it was absolutely beautiful, almost like she had choreographed it to the music.
It wasn't at all. She said, I've never had somebody do that. She said, well, honey, I couldn't sit still. You have a,
well, you know, it's like when music, and I said this last week in my interview, music is so many things to so many people. It's a balm when there's been a hurt or a loss. It celebrates, you know, achievements, you know, friendships, relationships. And I just loved that story because it was such a perfect example of what we've all been through in this world. And music can connect. It can right wrongs. It can heal ills. It truly is a balm for everything. You know, you and I have shared a lot through the years, and there's some great things about competitions. And then there's some things that will break your heart, some things that will hurt, some things that will make you angry. And one thing that I've always loved about you is that you've admitted I'm not perfect. I've made some mistakes. I've had to learn to sometimes say I'm sorry. I've had to learn to just move on. And as a mom, I've always been so proud of you. The way that, you know, you have said, I'm Anthony, whether or not, you know, it's my fault or not, you always pick yourself back up and try to strive to a better day. And I'm very proud of you for that. I'd like to know, with all of this that we've gone through over the last year, all the stuff in the past, the good and the bad, what do you see in the next few chapters for you? Where do you see that you're going? What are you looking forward to on the horizon for yourself?
I don't know. Because we're not promised tomorrow. Nobody's promised tomorrow.
That's very true. If somebody could say it's 5 years from now, and you have been given the gift of tomorrow and all those tomorrows, if you could pick where you would like to be in 5 years, what are some things that you would like to be on that page?
I'd love to be in Vegas on stage performing, or on a cruise ship performing, or possibly with an album or an EP somewhere on, and it, you know I'm saying, somewhere, just to get my music and my voice out. You know?
Well, I think that I could sum it up for you. As long as it's you singing music and singing your story and it being heard and received, that's a good day for you, correct?
Right. Yeah, it is. It is.
Well, I tell you, I love you so much. There's very rarely a day that goes by that I don't think of you in some capacity. Like I said, you dramatically impacted my life. We've all been through a lot together. I would be remiss if I didn't say this to you. And I don't say this in a very I hope you don't take it as condescending, but I'm very proud of you. I've seen you in the last couple months begin to pick yourself back up, like a lot of us. This last year did a number on all of us. And I'm very proud. And I just want you to know that I see you and I see the hard work that you're doing. And it shows in your voice. It shows in your countenance. And most importantly, it shows in the way that you treat others. You're everybody's cheerleader, and I'm grateful for that. And it's time that you had the same given back to you. And as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to be part of that squad. I love you so much. I want you to know that.
I love you too.
I'm very proud of you. Promise me one thing, you'll come back on and join me from time to time.
Yeah, why not? I love to talk.
One thing about you, Anthony, you'll always be a world champion. And that's something that nobody can ever take away from you. You were the first world champion that I ever met. And I tell you, if it hadn't been for you, like I said, I wouldn't be here. So thank you for all that you've meant to my life. I look forward to our adventures together. I love you.
Love you too.
We'll talk to you soon, baby. Bye-bye. And just like that, we have another episode of WKT's Backstage in the can. I would like to say a big thank you to all of my guests on today's show. Big thank you to Mr. Michael Cagle for joining us on the first ever segment of WKT's Vocal Academy. A huge shout out to my Talent Quest girls, Margo Smith and Sherry West. And a big thank you to today's big interview with Anthony Magee. Make sure that you subscribe and join us at our page. Find us at worldkaraoketour.com/backstage. And also remember, next week, have we got a show for you? We are going to have the winner of the WKT Eliminator Tournament, and you don't want to miss that. Again, thanks for watching today's show. And remember this, guys, all of the amazing, entertaining stuff happens on the stage, but all of the juicy stuff and some drama happens backstage. I'll see you next week.